I like to ramble, ramble. I like to ramble, ramble. I like to ramble. Welcome to the innermost ramblings of Fiona. I'm Fiona and I like to ramble. It's actually been the way that I'm learning to get to know myself. I started voice memoing myself and feeling my truth as I speak. Like, does that feel good in my body? That's not quite right. I'll keep talking and then feeling, oh wow, yeah, that is not. So this is where I ramble and process whatever is alive, whatever is staring in me in any given moment, and invite you to listen. Maybe you find some identification. Maybe you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Or maybe you're like, what? That's not my truth. And I hope that you'd seek out your truth as you listen. Listen to your body, listen to your responses, and maybe even do a little rambling of your own. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy. A disclaimer before we jump into it. These are voice memos that are voice memos. They are infiltrated by wind sounds and cars going past, or me being in the car, or they are not perfect audio. I can't sit down and have the same processing effect. There's often movement involved. I like being outside or standing up, or so my audio is unedited and authentic to the environment that I'm in. Hey, so I thought today I would read a Fear Inventory, which is something that's come from Existential Kink, an exercise in that book. And the idea is that I identify something I'm afraid of and then write why I'm afraid of it and just follow those fears. And what I've discovered is that usually I'm not afraid of the thing that I think I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of all the sensations that come up in my body. The thing that I'm afraid of is just the external trigger. So at the center of my core, like, what I'm afraid of is wide and ranging, but what I'm really afraid of is just feeling these sensations in my body and staying with them. And so, like, to realize really everyone's afraid of the same or similar things. The external trigger, like what happens in the outside world, the thing that triggers that fear is going to be different. But there's these internal sensations that everyone experiences or doesn't experience or tries not to experience. So I am noticing a pattern around certain things, certain sensations that I'm afraid to feel, basically. And that's really enlightening. Yeah, so the fear inventory is following that process, that thought process through the through line of all the fears and getting deeper and deeper. And then releasing it, just letting it go. The last part is reading it out loud. So to someone. So my someone today, here and now, is you guys. So, dear divinity, authentic and higher self, guides, spirits, etc. I absolutely refuse to experience or allow fun into my life because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the story of having to earn time and space to have fun, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of freedom, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of doing what I want when I want and enjoying it in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of feeling as though I am being lazy, irresponsible, not taking life seriously, not pulling my weight, not trying hard enough, all in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of vulnerability and letting go of control that fun requires in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling with full permission how being disconnected serious and controlling protects me in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling connected to myself in a centered and turned on way. Because, new page, I am deeply afraid of what truths I might discover if and when I connect to myself, because I'm deeply afraid of facing my fears and facing myself, because I'm deeply afraid of admitting to myself that I know I'm selling myself out, because if I connect to myself and to my life force and heart, I will have to change my whole life, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of change and of vulnerability and of not knowing and of not having control, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the above sensations in a centered and turned on way with full permission in my whole body, because I'm getting off on feeling these things in a disconnected and turned off way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of others' disapproval and or letting them down in my body in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling relaxed and letting go in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling how little I value myself, because I'm deeply afraid of myself, and at the same time because I'm deeply afraid of wasting time with things that aren't productive, even though I know intuitive that fun is not wasting time. It is the way home. I am deeply afraid of feeling at home within myself, because I'm deeply afraid of my dad, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of making him my higher power and authority and my lack of clarity, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of letting him down, because I'm deeply afraid of witnessing him feeling like a failure and living his life vicariously through me. And I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of not feeling responsible for him or owing him anything, because I'm deeply afraid of living free without owing anyone anything, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of feeling responsible to my parents in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the fear of having my own life and my own dreams and my own within my own reach in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling trust in myself in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of trusting and listening to my intuition in a centered and full body experience way, because I'm deeply afraid of doing what my intuition tells me in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of not being driven by outside forces and responsibilities, because I'm deeply afraid of not knowing what to do with myself, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the empty space of freedom in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling anything other than longing for rest and fun and play, longing to stop in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling how play and fun feels like just one more thing I'm supposed to do and find time for, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling exhausted, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling like I don't want fun, I want rest, because I'm deeply afraid of rest, to feel rest in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of having capacity to do all and be all I know I can be in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply terrified of not knowing how and feeling the sensations of not knowing how in a centered and turned on way, because I'm terrified of having to choose what I want and do what I want and live what I want in a centered and turned on way, because I'm terrified of the sensations of wanting in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of staying with myself and feeling shame in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of other people shaming me, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of having to justify myself, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensation of not being the same as other people, being different, being wrong, because I'm deeply afraid of letting go of my belief that different equals wrong, and the fear of feeling different in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the sensations of being right in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling others' offense and being or thinking that I'm unteachable or a know-it-all, etc. in a centered and turned on way, because I am deeply and fully terrified of being seen if I know what is right for me and what I want, and I'm deeply afraid of being seen and acknowledged, because I'm deeply afraid, again, of feeling the sensations of shame, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling the repulsion I feel from my body, especially in particular parts that I feel even more repulsed by in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling my own repulsion with full permission in my body in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling others' repulsion towards me in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling attractive and feeling others' attraction to me in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of the person I become when I feel others like me and I don't know why, and then being that person or a likable person becomes unsustainable, even when a person worthy of attention and intention becomes unsustainable, because I'm deeply afraid of being liked, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling liked in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling others' expectations of me in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of letting go of the stories of what being liked and loved actually mean and not being able to earn it, because I'm deeply afraid of feeling boxed in without choice in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of losing my freedom if other people like me in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of human contact, because I'm deeply afraid of breaking the drought of interaction and being engulfed by all the sensations in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of being known in a centered and turned on way, and being authentic in a centered and turned on way, because I'm deeply afraid of not being enough and of being too much, and of feeling these sensations in my body with full permission in a centered and turned on way. I'm afraid of fun because I am afraid of losing control and of how my body responds, and of feeling these sensations in a centered and turned on way. I am afraid of feeling anything in a centered and turned on way, because I'm afraid of feeling as though I'm being self-indulgent or ungrateful. Universe, spirit guides, etc., I ask that you take all of these fears for me. I ask that you show me your will and give me the power to carry that out. Thanks for listening. And now I rip it up. Look, listen, actually. Listen, I'm ripping it up. Releasing all of these fears and the reasons that I play small. Thank you. Hey, just a little bit of context. I say in a centered and turned on way like 50 billion times in that Fear Inventory, and I just wanted to be like, the reason for that is sensations happen in the body, in my body, whether I'm aware of them or give them permission or not. And some of them I choose to create, but I do it in a way that's like fear and this avoidance of fear. I might be creating the fear, but I'm not doing it in a centered, full permission, turned on, choosing to enjoy the sensations. And so the idea is that I'm afraid of these sensations and feeling them with full permission in my whole body in a centered and turned on way. And repeating that over and over, I can see how that is playing itself out and why I show up in spaces in the way that I do. And that's how the book also suggested that I write my fears. I have played with the language and tried to, like, is there something that feels more authentic to me in my language? But this does feel right as I've sat with it. So I'm noticing some language evolve as I write more, and some of it I'm just happy to sit with and see what it brings up as I use language to allow it to bring me more into my own experience. Thanks for listening. And there you have it, folks. Another episode of the innermost ramblings of Fear in the books. Thanks for coming along. Please like and subscribe and share and do all those things. And if you want to find me on socials in between time, you can find me at _innermost_ramblings on Instagram, or check the show notes for other ways to connect. Until next time, have a brilliant, beautiful day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, whenever you are listening to this. From my heart to yours. Bye.